hear the party jumping off. Hey, we putting on a show, trying to catch a vibe.
I honestly can't recommend strongly enough, if you're visiting the Portland area or you go to see Mount Hood, you have to also make a stop at the Columbia River Gorge. The Columbia River Gorge can just be a point to visit on its own. It doesn't have to be a part of the side trip. It's super accessible. Some of the waterfalls are right off the road. Most of the trails to the waterfalls are short trails, and you get to see shit like this.
I'm like, feeling like I'm on the highway, cause everything been going my way.
All right, we're going behind it.
I'm like, this is where I wanna be, never ever gonna leave, you ain't gonna live for me. I'm like, this is where I wanna stay, I could do this every day, it don't matter what they say.
Standing at the top of, I think it's pronounced Littoral Falls. I don't know. Littoral? Littoral Falls? I don't know. Also, you're definitely not supposed to go there. I ducked under a little fence to get down there. Be smart, kids.
Say, hey, I've been on the wave. It's a party, make a toast. It's a party every day. So anywhere you go, all across the coast, we do it every time. Like,
At camp for the night, about to go to bed, getting everything charged up, debating with myself about what all gear I'm gonna take, transferring over footage from today. Reservation at the Timberline Lodge for the breakfast buffet tomorrow morning. I want that breakfast buffet before I start hiking. So, we'll see you on the trail.
I got nothing but the highlights. Can't believe that this is my life. I'm only living on the bright side. I'm like, this is where I wanna be, never ever gonna leave, you ain't gonna live for me. I'm like,
Alright, we're off. Just filled out our wilderness permit. We got a bit of a ambitious day today. The last time I did the trail, we did it in 3 nights. This time around, Cub and I are gonna hustle a little bit and get it done in 2 nights, 3 days. So we gotta push. Probably doing about somewhere between like 15 and 17 miles today, I think. It's not hot, clearly. Beanie weather. Should be booking it. Still a little cloudy. No views of Mount Hood yet. Had to do a headwear change. Now the sun's coming out and we're climbing. So even though it's only like 50 degrees right now, I'm hot. You feel good, bud? Get a lot of this on the Timberline Trail. We just came from over here. You can see the trail go all the way down here. We're making good time so far. We're on pace to make it to around where I want to make it to today. I don't have a specific site picked out, which is kind of new for me. Almost always when I go backpacking, I'll pick out exactly where I'm going to camp for the night. A lot of elevation gain and loss. You're pretty much always going up or down. There's very little flat section on this trail. Coming up on the Ramona Falls area, which is where I camped last year when I did this trail. Part of doing this trail again is I want to have a different experience than I had last time. Definitely want to camp in different spots. Definitely recommend camping there on your first night, especially if you're doing 3 nights. We just took like a 20 or so minute break at Ramona Falls. So we're at like 11.5 miles, I think. I'd like to probably be done hiking no later than 5:30 ideally. Hiking all the way up until dusk is okay, but you don't really get to relax, kind of feel rushed cooking and setting up camp. Crushed the first like 3/4 of that climb, and the last like quarter of it fucking crushed me. I've been climbing for 2.5 straight hours. That was a grouse if you heard it. Clouds finally moved away from Mount Hood. Just under a mile left. I'm ready to be done hiking for today. I'm hungry. Oh, Cub heard me say that. Sorry, bud. And tired. And Cub and I are both gonna sleep well tonight. I don't know how much I'm gonna feel like filming once I get to camp. And I don't know how much daylight I'm gonna have left. Ate some food and then crawled in the tent. I did do some time-lapse video while I was getting the tent set up. Creative juices weren't exactly flowing, so tomorrow will be a little bit more of a relaxed day. Start early, talk about the hike a little bit more, film some more, but for now I gotta sleep. I shot everything yesterday on the 20mm lens, and then I also brought my 100 to 400. I didn't use it at all yesterday, so I could have just brought the one lens, the 24 to 70, and that would have been a little bit more comfortable for backpacking, but I'm sort of trying to act as if this is less of a leisurely trip and more of like pretending that someone paid me to come shoot this trip for them. So if I act as if, I can treat it that way and force myself to do things a little bit differently on a trip like this than I would have in the past. Maybe that means carrying a piece of equipment that's a little bit heavier than I would normally like to carry. But when you're treating it differently from just pure comfort for yourself and treating it as if, and if I start thinking about it that way, then I think that that's better for me in the long run. But I think the other part of that too is just not worrying about the judgment judgment from other people about whether or not I should be doing something like this, judgment about, you know, other endeavors that I've put some effort into that haven't worked out for me, but I'm trying to learn from those mistakes. Also just the judgment of worrying about what people think when they see me filming myself or talking to the camera or setting my tripod up and walking past it and then coming back to get it. Not that, you know, I think most of that's in my head anyway. Hey, get out of here. Nope. But anyway, I'm just trying not to worry about that kind of stuff. In the past, when I've tried to do things like this, I would not get certain shots that I wanted to get because there would be people around and I'd be worried about what someone would think or say. Or I've been filming stuff before and people ask me if I make YouTube videos. Hiking in Zion, and we're like on the other side of the creek, and someone just yelled, "Yeah, YouTube!" Such a non-issue to even be worried about it in the first place is kind of comical. But just being honest about things that have held me back or things that I have to get over to do this. All right, we gotta get camp packed up. I crossed, and then another hiker who I'd passed a few minutes earlier, she came down and crossed, and we talked for a few minutes. She said she had a blister that she was going to rinse off in the creek. I said, okay, good talking to you, I'm gonna get going. So I went and started hiking up and turned around and looked back down. Apparently she needed to get completely naked to wash her blister off. I turned around and saw a naked woman in the creek. This climb sucks. This is probably the worst part of the whole trail. Beautiful views of the valley. Mount Hood, not so much. Past the high point of the trail. The whole east side of the trail is through all this like rocky, desolate area. You get better views on this side, but it's also just really cool to see all of the different ecosystems on like either side of Mount Hood. The sun finally came out, but still can't really see Mount Hood. Kind of a bummer. It's nice to be able to see the volcano that you're hiking around, But also just a bummer for this video because it would have been better to have shots of Mount Hood in it more often. I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed about it. Weather's the weather. Still got cool shots. Typically you would be able to see Mount Hood in this video right here. Still a really cool moody shot with the clouds moving in front. So just got to make the best of it. Well, I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, and I hiked all damn day. Didn't get to camp until 6:30, same time I got to camp last night. I ended up doing 19 miles today. Would have preferred to have done less. Now my day tomorrow is only going to be like 5.5 miles or something like that. I really didn't need my last day to be that short. I almost stopped at Newton Creek for whatever reason, just told myself I was going to keep going. It was only 5 o'clock, which whatever, I could have relaxed a little bit more. But one of the reasons that I ended up at this campsite was I knew that there was one campsite we camped at last year that's only like probably a half a mile from the Newton Creek campsites. I knew I was taking a risk. I got up there and there was people there, and that's the only site there. So I had to keep going, and there really was nothing else until I got to here. When I first started backpacking, that was when I was like super into health and fitness. I tried a couple of the like healthier backpacking company meals. They're okay, but they didn't have any flavor at all. When I'm out hiking, 15 plus miles a day, or even if it's less than that, like I'm not super worried about how healthy that meal was going to be. I just want it to taste good. Someone has pooped. Good morning, beautiful. I got up with the sunrise this morning, made some coffee, ate a little bit of trail mix, didn't cook anything for breakfast, just wanted to get back on trail. Filmed a little bit and still managed to get packed up and get on trail before 8. we decided to do one more quick hike before we got out of here. I feel very strongly that dried cranberries have no place in a tropical trail mix. Cranberries in this are really throwing me off.